Under monitoring and evaluation, DepDev's major accomplishments in fiscal year 2024 include the 2024 ODA Portfolio Review Report, which was prepared and submitted by DepDev to the Congress. This review highlights ODA's effectiveness in enhancing national capacities and fostering partnerships which contribute positively to development outcomes in key sectors. DepDev also released the 2024 Philippine Development Report, which provides a comprehensive overview of the government's progress in executing the PDP 2 years into its implementation. To complement the PDR, the DepDev regional offices also released their respective regional development reports. In addition, DepDev, through its regional offices, published quarterly regional project monitoring and evaluation system reports, which serves as valuable references for policymakers, researchers, and the general public in assessing the progress of government projects. The electronic RPMS platforms were rolled out to implementing agencies, local government units, and state universities and colleges. The agency conducted the 11th M&E Network Forum. This served as a platform for M&E practitioners in the Philippines to promote and strengthen M&E practices, underscoring its role in guiding the planning and implementation of development plans such as the PDP 2023 to 2028. Finally, in 2024, DepDev conducted impact evaluation studies across 7 regions to assess the effectiveness of key infrastructure and development programs. These studies provided evidence-based insights that informed policy decisions and fostered collaboration between national and regional stakeholders. Mr. Chair, DepDev's attached agencies complement and support the agency's principal roles as development advisor, as well as policy and program coordinator, ensuring that DepDev is able to provide sound policy advice to decision makers and various stakeholders during strategic and critical junctures and in a manner or form that is appropriate for evidence-based decision making. The following slides contain the physical performance of these 8 attached agencies. In the interest of time, Mr. Chair, as I said earlier, please allow us to proceed to the next section of our presentation. However, should you have any questions or clarifications on the accomplishments as well as the activities of the DepDev family, we will return to these slides. We also have with us our officials and representatives from our attached agencies who will be able to answer your queries, except for PSRTI. So, I will proceed to DepDev's trust and priorities, which frame our planned activities for 2026. DepDev aims to elevate its performance, pursue strategic and high-impact initiatives aligned with priorities outlined in the updated Philippine Development Plan, and improve the way we carry out our mandate as advisor and coordinator. First, we will of course continue providing relevant, timely, and strategic policy advice to our stakeholders, including the executive and legislative branches of government. Second, we will continue monitoring our country's progress in implementing the PDP and the RDPs, and publish key reports such as the Philippine and regional development reports that outline our nation's progress, identify accomplishments and persisting challenges, as well as priorities for action moving forward. Under Republic Act 12145 or the DepDev Charter, we are also tasked with producing transparency and accountability reports on key aspects of our country's macroeconomic conditions and policies. Taking stock of the lessons we have learned from implementing the PDPs, and in view of present and emerging socioeconomic trends, we also deem it strategic to update the Ambition Natin 2040, our nation's collective long-term vision, to align medium-term targets with long-term prospects and see what indicators can best guide us as we progressively aspire for and realize the creation of a prosperous, predominantly middle-class society. In taking a long-term view, we will also produce and finalize the intergenerational report to identify the sustainability of public policies and programs in light of changing conditions. We will work towards strengthening and coordinating efforts that aim to create a stronger, enabling environment, one that boosts productivity, encourages innovation, and fosters sound public sector governance. This will be key to ultimately raising our economy's growth potential, sustaining long-term growth, and improving overall welfare. As an agency involved in planning and coordination, DepDev plays a part in ensuring that major public investments contribute to the attainment of our identified development goals, and that these projects represent responsive and impactful ways of spending scarce resources. Hence, our fiscal year 2026 priorities include initiatives such as the preparation of the Comprehensive Infrastructure Development Master Plan, complemented by efforts to revisit plans, policies, and initiatives to enhance the government's programs for disaster risk reduction, resilience, and adaptation. These efforts are urgent and necessary to future-proof our nation in a world of climate volatility. We will work to strengthen M&A systems for infrastructure flagship projects, or IFPs, and projects funded by official development assistance, recognizing that sound evidence and information are necessary ingredients to high-level decisions, and ultimately, bold and credible actions to ensure that our people receive the public services that they truly deserve. Another one of our main priorities can be found in our regional development efforts through the strengthening of links between regional and national prioritization in the budget process. To enable greater representation of regional development priorities, we aim to empower our regional operations towards enhanced project preparation and ex-ante evaluation with support to LGUs, investment programming, as well as proactive and strategic M&E at the local level. Finally, we will continue strengthening and enhancing our institution, our people, workspaces, as well as processes and systems to enable us to carry our renewed mandate more effectively. So the next few slides show DepDev's financial performance for fiscal year 2024 and the first semester of fiscal year 2025. As of December 31, 2024, DepDev and its attached agencies were able to obligate 16.22 billion pesos, or roughly 85% of its total allocation allotment of 19.14 billion pesos. On the other hand, of the obligated amount, a total amount of 15.33 billion pesos, or 94.5% was disbursed. Shown on this slide, Mr. Chair, is the financial performance for fiscal year 2024 by agency. As of June 30, 2025, DepDev and its attached agencies were able to obligate 46.82% of the 2025 budget, Of the obligated amount, 71.15% has been disbursed. Next shown on the slide is the financial performance as of June 2024 by agency. As of end 2024, DepDev and its attached agencies have garnered an average score of 4.18 for our annual agency's performance. Mr. Chair, let me now present to you the proposed budget for DepDev and its attached agencies for fiscal year 2026. Our total proposed budget for fiscal year 2026 is 15.34 billion pesos. This slide, that's on the screen, shows the breakdown of our proposed 2026 budget by allotment class. Maintenance and other operating expenses constitute the biggest chunk, amounting to 10 billion pesos or 65.17% of the total proposed budget. Personal services amounts to about 4 billion pesos or 26.5% of the total proposed budget. PS, on the other hand, amounts to about 4 billion pesos or 26.5%, or yes. And the remaining amount is 1.7 billion pesos or 8.83% of the proposed is for capital outlay. The next slide shows the breakdown of our proposed budget by appropriations source. As you can see, Mr. Chair, 97.85% or 15.01 billion pesos is appropriated to the agency's specific budget. Only 2.09% or about 321 billion pesos is appropriated under automatic appropriations for the payment of retirement and life insurance premium, while the remaining 0.05% or 8.2 billion pesos is appropriated to the special accounts in the General Fund for the Tariff Commission's Remedies Fund and the PSRTI's Endowment Fund. Then this slide shows the breakdown of our proposed budget by agency. Historically, PSA gets the biggest chunk among the DepDev family. For fiscal year 2026, PSA proposed budget is 9.01 billion pesos or 58.72% of our total budget. The DepDev's OSEC's budget, or the DepDev's proper, amounts to 2.81 billion pesos or 18.31%. The remaining 3.52 billion pesos or 22.97% is shared by the rest of our 7 attached agencies. Shown on the screen is the comparison of DepDev's budget based on the 2025 GAA and the 2026 NEP. Should you have any questions on this, Mr. Chair, would you please answer your queries? We may note a few of these items. For example, for OSEC, the Office of the Secretary, the decrease in the DepDev's OSEC for fiscal year 2026 budget in comparison with fiscal year 2025 GAA is primarily attributed to the reduction in capital outlay, specifically the non-inclusion of allocations for furniture and fixtures that have already been funded in fiscal year 2025, as well as the decreased requirements for ICT equipment. In the case of PSA, in line with EO number 252, which established the system of designated statistics, the PSA follows varying schedules and frequencies in conducting its major surveys.